Welcome to Environmental News, the good, the bad, and the ugly, your weekly briefing on America's zero waste, recycling, and circular economy front lines. I'm Stacy Savage, aka the Texas Trash Talker, founder and CEO of Zero Waste Strategies. Today is February 5th, 2026, and we're tracking two major policy wins, a regulatory setback, and a high-stakes packaging showdown. Coming up, Honolulu launches household food scrap composting. New Jersey cracks down on supermarket waste. Texas composters fight restrictive new rules. And California's landmark SB 54 plastic law faces its toughest test yet. So we begin with the good. In Honolulu, Hawaii, for the first time, city residents will be able to toss kitchen scraps like banana peels and eggshells directly into their green yard waste bins. The Honolulu City Council's GROW pilot program, which is short for Green Recycling Organic Waste, rolls out April 1st across 6 neighborhoods. And residents who already have automated green cart collection can now add food waste to those carts into the mix. Hawaiian Earth Recycling will process the combined loads to finished compost using industrial-scale equipment designed specifically for food scraps. City officials will track contamination rates, participation rates, and total diversion to determine whether to expand this program island-wide. So here's why this matters. Right now, Honolulu sends most household waste to the H-Power Waste-to-Energy incinerator. Food scraps, which represent 20 to 30% of all residential trash, are wet and bulky and very inefficient to burn. Diverting them cuts methane emissions and extends landfill life as the city chases its 95% diversion goal by 2030. Staying on the good topic, New Jersey lawmakers passed AP 2090, a sweeping new food waste diversion law that targets the state's largest generators. Think supermarkets, food manufacturers, and institutional kitchens that generate significant volumes of waste. They must now prioritize edible surplus for donation to food banks and shelters, send inedible scraps to composting or anaerobic digestion facilities, or implement strategies to reduce overproduction. This builds directly on New Jersey's recent Skip the Stuff law, which requires restaurants to provide single-use utensils only upon request, and creates what's being called a comprehensive food recovery hierarchy at the state level, which is donate first, compost second, and landfill last. Now, lawmakers say the measure will cut methane emissions, bolster food security programs, and provide compost facilities with a predictable feedstock supply. Implementation details and timelines are now being finalized. And now on to the bad. In my backyard of Texas, where compost operators continue to struggle under last year's Senate Bill 2078, it's a new siting law that is widely described as a huge roadblock to the infrastructure that the state desperately needs. The U.S. Composting Council reports that 2025 was, quote, a tough year for Texas composting. The new law requires mandatory public hearings, expanded neighbor notifications, additional environmental and traffic studies, and greater local government veto authority for any proposed facility. While industry groups successfully blocked even more restrictive PFAS-related amendments, the procedural hurdles have slowed or stopped several projects at a time when Austin, Houston, and Dallas are all seeking to launch or expand commercial food scrap collection programs. Compost facilities turn food waste into valuable soil amendments while preventing methane emissions from landfills. Texas cities want these programs, but without the new capacity, they're just stuck. And finally, the ugly. A regulatory showdown in California over Senate Bill 54, the 2022 Plastic Pollution Prevention and Packaging Producer Responsibility Act, one of the most ambitious packaging laws anywhere in the world. SB 54 requires that by 2032, 100% of single-use packaging sold in California be recyclable or compostable. It also requires that 65% of plastic packaging actually get recycled, and overall single-use plastic use drop by 25% from 2023 levels. Producers fund the system through fees collected by a producer responsibility organization, or a PRO. January 29th, Cal Recycle released updated draft regulations after withdrawing an earlier version. The National Stewardship Action Council, which has been tracking SB 54 implementation through legal, food safety, and practical lenses, commended the agency for addressing stakeholder concerns, particularly around the problematic categorical exclusion language that could have created unintended loopholes. However, the NSAC warns that compressed timelines, ambiguous requirements, and even compliance burdens remain serious issues. Their packaging and EPR implementation working group continues detailed review ahead of the February 13th public comment deadline. This is where laws go to live or die. It's the rulemaking phase where billions in fees, food safety standards, and small business survival all collide. So those are our top stories. Go ahead and drop us a comment which story matters most in your community. That's all for this week on Environmental News, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Next week, more evidence from the waste wars on the front line. But until then, don't just recycle, organize your community. All right, thanks. Bye, y'all.